All good. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, for another review. You know, there was one sci-fi comedy made in Britain, and I'm not talking about Red Dwarf. Sooner or later, I would review Red Dwarf one of those days. Of course, I need a lot of research and such because it's been running for, like, now. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about Red Dwarf, ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk about a comedy parody that makes a lot more fun of Star Trek than anything else. And this one was starring Nick Frost. Now, a lot of people always know that every time when Simon Pegg is making a movie, he always has Nick Frost with him. In every movies, TV shows, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, they both were in a lot of movies and shows. And the first time I knew about them was Shaun of the Dead, until I saw them in that one show called Spaced. And then they both appeared in Hot Fuzz, and also End of the World, and Paul. But here was one thing. Since Simon Pegg has been appearing in these Star Trek movies, playing Montgomery Scott, I just can't do it, Captain! For the 100th time, I don't have the power of your horse's arse! I just wanted to say that. And I have to say, these movies are really good. This one's good. This one's a little eh. It's very similar to the sequel, Wrath of Khan, but in an opposite way. But this one was way better. It's just too bad that nobody's planning on doing their version of Next Generation. Although I have heard that James McAvoy is ready to play the younger version of Captain Jean-Luc Picard. But since Simon Pegg is busy playing Montgomery Scott on the Star Trek, BBC decided to put Nick Frost in this show, which I'm going to review to you today, and it's none other than Hyperdrive, and that's his theme song it played. Now, Hyperdrive was a really good show. It's really hilarious. Sadly, the show only lasted, it started back in 2006 and 2007, and only lasted for like 2 seasons. I wish I had these in DVD. But what's it all about is this. You have Nick Frost playing Commander Henderson, who is the commander of his own ship called Hyperdrive. And you have Till, played by the lovely and hilarious Miranda Hart, and his first officer, York, played by Kevin Eldon. Now, one thing I gotta say, I like Miranda Hart. Yeah, seriously, I like Miranda Hart. She is really funny, really talented. Heck, I watched her show called Miranda, and I really like her. Okay, I'm always attracted to very funny women. Very lovely and very funny women. Heck, if I ever met a woman who's absolutely hilarious, it just makes me want to run towards her, get on my knees, hold up a ring and says, "Please marry me." But that's just me. And of course, their officers are really different. He has Jeffers. Now, what he is, Oh, and he's played by... Jeffers, played by Dan Olaplenski. Now, one thing about Jeffers here is that he is a downright stupid moron. He doesn't take things so seriously. He is a kind of a rebel. I mean, heck, every time when they told him not to do something, he does the opposite. Like when they told him to take over the helm and please do not do any space race or anything. And he was like, yeah, sure, all right. But after they leave, he's like, okay, let's go space racing. And of course, when the other aliens are trying to have a battle with them, he keeps singing their anthem, going like, kill the humans, wipe them all, kill the humans, wipe them all, kill the humans. I mean, he's just so stupid and so... I mean, I would have shot him if I met somebody like that. Jeesh. But the other character I feel sorry for, because, well, everybody always seems to push him around and doesn't get any credit for what he's done. It's, of course, Vines, played by Stephen Evans. Now, Vine here, he is supposed to be like a security officer, but the problem is he has no backbone. All he does is just, he gets pushed around by everybody, and every time when he has something to say, they ignored him or push him aside. Poor guy couldn't get a break. And they have an android on their crew. And it's none other than Sandstorm, played by Patricia Mancy. Now, one thing I know about her is that she is the ship's controller. When they tell her to fly the ship, she'll stand on this one area and move around, causing the show to fly or go, keep going. And she also can find some things happening on the ship. Except sometimes she does act pretty odd. Like, one time, she starts having an attitude, and when Commander tells her to do something, he's like, stand on your heads and stick it up your nose. But she's very helpful on the ship. And of course, their true boss, which pretty much gets on my nerves a lot, is none other than Space Marshal Clark, played by Peterson Joseph. Now, one thing I do have a problem with this guy, he gives them crappy missions to do something, and I can tell he really hates the commander and tries to put him in the mission where they can get killed easily. Now, they have gone through a lot of really unbelievable missions in their way. I mean, one episode, one of the aliens who thought they were going to do a peace treaty with them, they released one of their creatures into their ship, and it kept killing some of the crew. And of course, York, his first officer, he's gun happy. He likes to kill the critter. Eliminate him. At all costs. And of course, one thing I start to notice, Till, she has a crush on the commander. And he knows it, but he just thinks of her as a sister type. You know, she was really respectful to him, and he just puts her in a friend zone. And one thing that's a problem about the captain is that he watches his favorite sci-fi show involving his favorite hero, and he wants to be more like him. I mean, he doesn't think of himself as the commander. He likes to think of his hero as the true commander. while he's just doing his best, doing what he wants. And just like Captain Kirk, when he does meet some alien women, he does flirt. One thing that really bothers me the most is they had to meet the one of the Admiral's daughter, who turns out she's a space hippie. That's all we need. A space hippie. I hate hippies. No doubt about it. I mean, a bunch of tree-hugging freaks who thinks that animals and trees have rights and humans don't, and humans should be killed, even though they themselves are humans. And all they do is trying to spread love, not war, and just sit around and do nothing except just getting high. Anyway, the daughter is an activist, and she just does something really stupid. She tries to communicate with one of the space whales who does eat humans and ships. She thought she can communicate with it, but that thing was about ready to eat them. And now she says, "You never gave me a chance for me to communicate it. They just think of you as an enemy because you keep firing lasers at it." Come here. Come here. Come here. Stupid! Anyway, and one thing that I just can't get over is that one episode where another commander shows up, and he had a pass with Till. And it turns out that he is hopefully in love with Till. I mean, he really does love her a lot. And he does talk to her about leave the Hyperdrive ship and be with him. But she was like, "No, I'm more honored to the captain." And now he starts doing something stupid and crazy by saying, "Well, since I can't have her, no one can." And he starts trying to kill them. He just about ready to kill them until the commander stopped him. And when he was about ready to call Space Marshal what's going on, here's the stupid part. The Space Marshal walked up to him and says, Is that true?" And the guy says, "No. They were trying to do something stupid and I tried to stop them." And he believes him! What the... But I know it's all a comedy. I ain't supposed to take things... I can't take everything serious. But one thing I can't stand is people's stupidity. It knows that to pee me off. It makes me want to grab them by the throat and strangle them until they're passed out and dead! Sorry. I just hate the future where there's a lot of dumb, stupid people in the world we live in. And I just hope that the future doesn't get any worse. And I'm starting to feel like Sam Kinison. "Scott like you, always trying to get in my way! Ow! 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 Ow!" Anyway, I should calm down and tell you folks that this show is very entertaining. Very hilarious, but very entertaining. So, you can easily find it on YouTube, even though the screen is short, and the whole thing is kind of speed up. But you can hear them and hear what they're saying. And, all in all, it is a good show. I just can't stand stupid characters. But anyway, all in all, this show is really good, and Nick Frost did a really good job playing the commander. Well, that there is my review for the day. And for those of you who likes the show, please leave a comment down below, hit like and subscribe. I got a lot of reviews to do, and according to my Doctor Who watch, I'm going to review a sci-fi cartoon series that's been in my childhood. And I think it involves a bunny rabbit who's a space hero. and I remembered it when it was made way back in the 90s. I was a little kid, and I collect all its toys until I lost them. Long time ago. So, so you better stay tuned for my next review. As for me, time for me to go. I got places to go, planets to visit, and characters to meet. So, later.